The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. I'm Nikki Glaser. This is my new voice. Welcome to the show. I'm back, fully recovered, and happy to be back. I didn't know it would be so soon, but it's here. And if you don't think I sound different, keep that opinion to yourself. I don't want to hear it because I spent $45,000 on this voice. And so it's back. What do you think?
I think
it doesn't sound any different. I know. I knew you were going to say that.
No,
it does.
First of all, it sounds much worse.
Out of the gate, the tone is not good. He did not fix my tone. It's still going to be impatient and ornery. But there's a brightness to the overall quality.
Yes, no, I do hear a little bit of a higher pitch. I really do. I think it probably is closer to what your voice was originally.
It sounds younger. Like when I first talked in the office the other day. Yeah, I was like, this is what I sounded like in high school. Like it was just like, I have not heard this person for decades.
Is it weird hearing your voice after 3 weeks? Does it sound?
Well, it was just weird hearing a new voice because this to me is, I'm used to it right now because I've heard it for 4 days now, 3 days now. So I'm used to it, but
especially in the speaker where you're hearing it back.
No, because I feel like it's a little bit like there are times like I can just what I describe it as is before I was driving a car that like an old, I can only picture it as like my old Mercedes in high school. It was like in 1977 and you push on the gas and it would just take so long to go like, and then you could get to the speed that you want. It's like the first time I drove a nice Lexus. Yeah. I can't say Lexus. They took that from me. They gave me whatever you have.
Would you like to use your new voice to
They
introduce
add a
our
couple
guest?
inches to my tongue on both sides. Wait, what?
Would you like to use your new voice to introduce our guest?
Yes, I would love to. Welcome to the show. My best friend. You hear her every time our show starts doing the podcast theme song. She has a Patreon that you can support. She has music that you can support on Spotify. Her name is Anya Marina. Welcome to the show, Anya.
Hey, guys.
Hey, girl. Anya heard my voice maybe first.
Yeah, I heard it. I have the voice memo. It's so good. It's like, hey, guys. It's Nikki. This is my new voice. I was like, this is the Nikki I met in 2012 when we became roommates.
Yeah, it was probably, it did sound that way. Like I can go back to hearing myself on Comedy Central, like on my show Not Safe, and it had not dropped yet. But it just,
I told you this, but you sound so much like one of my favorite albums is Liz Phair on iTunes Originals talking about her songs. So she does like a song and then we'll talk about it. And she has this clear, like sweet, mellifluous voice, and it's like ASMR for me. And your voice sounded like that. It was just like, I expected you to be like, I wrote fucking run.
I mean, I can do a better Anya. Like, I can do a better Anya now. Like, it's easy.
I want my goal when I first started talking in the office, because they were filming me for the Graham Bensinger show, this show that's been following me around through this process. He filmed me like going into the surgery, doing interviews before it, and then not during it, but he was there. They were there when I started talking again. I wanted to go like,
hi, everyone. Like, I wanted to come out talking like this.
Like
and just everyone would be like, what the fuck?
What, is it different?
Yeah.
Is it different?
But it kind of did sound like that. It was it's a little bit, I talked too much this weekend, and it just, I'm not ready to be talking as much as I have been. So it's a little bit like hoarse today, which is a disappointment because I wanted to debut it and have it be different. But it was, the thing is, it like I was giving the analogy for the car. It's like, it just, the first time you drive a nice car and you gently tap and it just smoothly like goes as fast as you want the car to go on the gas. Like, it's just so, there's no effort behind it. So
is there a clearness in your throat when you talk, or was there something that you ever felt?
No, you don't feel anything. Your vocal cords, you don't feel.
Yeah.
Like there's no nerves there. So there was no pain, during the surgery or anything. It's just what I feel is that I'm going to have to relearn how to speak because I was driving that old car. So I was constantly like shoving my foot down on the gas for everything I said. There's so much effort when you don't have a good voice behind talking and anytime it's just constant. You don't realize how much, because it's all so you don't realize how much you're fucking fighting to get sound out of your body. And so I'm still doing that really hard. Like I'm still slamming on the gas and like I don't need to. Like it just like comes out. Like it's just like there. It's not, I don't have to search for it. I don't have to like dig for it and be like getting ready for this. And in terms of singing, like I'm not going to sing, but it is insane. Like I can sing every Olivia Rodrigo song at the high note. Yeah. Like at the way she sings it. I usually, when I play it on guitar, have to take it down like 7 octaves. I'm not kidding you. Every Taylor Swift song, every single, I can hit Adele notes. Like I can hit every note. There hasn't been a note I cannot hit yet. And I'm not kidding you. Before.
Wait, the first weekend you can talk, you're singing Adele?
Well, I was just like, gently to myself, like, while
I
I
love the idea of you being like, so I do
humming.
Pavarotti now. I've been doing Pavarotti for like 15 hours.
Mariah Carey whistle tones.
I have so many questions. Can anyone benefit from this surgery, you think, or just people who have had hemorrhaged cords?
I mean, I think anyone, but it's, unless you need it and want to, like, if you talk for a living, yes, absolutely.
I'm
talk or sing for a living.
Like, is it like a boat that collects barnacles and they just scrape the barnacles off, or like a cervix that has HPV?
They look like, when you look at them it's exactly that, Anya. When you look at cords on the screen, they look like a pair of jeans. Like there's 2 sides to it. They look like jeans. And like my original cords look like cargo pants that have a bunch of pockets stuffed with keys and like rocks all the way down.
So like your actual pants.
Yes. And then... Well, wait, what? Do I have pants?
I don't know. I had this weird memory of like
I just
Nikki
had to clear
having
it up.
all this stuff in her pants.
When did I have stuff in my pants? What?
Everyone's been talking about it for a while.
Well, like men.
I'm
like
flattered.
men have a lot of stuff in their pants.
Yeah, like a guy that's like working as like backstage at a music festival. Like how much crap? Like a guy that's like a roadie. That's his pants.
Right.
And then my cords now look like skinny jeans. They look like they're going to like the Warped Tour in 2008. They are perfect, like straight lines on each side. And so it's just, and it looks like there was no surgery. There's no like scars. There's nothing. And they just look like I was just gazing at them like they're so straight, because before they were all like calloused and they looked like the Great Barrier Reef, and now they look like the Great Barrier Reef now, which has nothing on it.
But the Barrier Reef sounds fantastic.
They don't use knives, right? Just lasers?
They do. Yeah, they do both. So they use lasers to fix all the hemorrhaged
I like how she said
blood
knives
vessels.
and not scalpels.
Yeah. Well, they look like little raptors that go like, there's these like little things that he would use that are millimeter. On the screen it was, magnified by like 100, 200 times, but they use these tiny little things. And then, they pull back the layer. They used to just cut off the lesions, and now they dissect the skin, lift the first layer of skin, go in and take out the damage, and then put the skin back on top. And then that's why it has so long to heal. But
so maybe there's like a cheaper version you can get if you don't have like...
There certainly is. But you might have a voice like Julie Andrews, which is no voice if you get that done. I mean, that's the way they used to do it. This guy invented this surgery because they used to just cut them off.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so he invented this kind of surgery because in high school he got a job as... He was like, he like worked with leather, sewing leather, and he learned how to be ambidextrous because this surgery is impossible to do unless you can use both your left and right hand the same way. So because he did that leather work in high school, he learned how to use both hands interdependently and together, and so he was able to develop the surgery that it's imperative that you are able to use. But so it's like if you want to do the surgery, you got to learn how to use your left hand. Yeah.
So he learned how to do that in high school, and then from that, he's like, I should be a surgeon because I'm so technical. That's crazy.
His dad was a surgeon, so he went to school, and he
gotcha.
wanted to. He was an ENT, and then he was doing all cancer surgeries, like just taking cancer off of people's throats and larynxes and all the things. And then he started working with singers, and I think was just like, there's got to be another way. And then Julie Andrews got her voice really effed up by a doctor that kind of just went in and cut all the stuff up, and then she couldn't sing anymore. And it was one of his first, success stories that he repaired her voice, and she can't, sing like she used to, but she is able to work, and she's like 89 or something now and still working.
Wow,
so.
your doctor repaired her botched surgery?
My doctor every single singer that and like my doctor has touched, and I can't say that. I can't tell you all the names.
Right.
I'm not kidding you. Going to his office is like walking into a Planet Hollywood. It's every single chord he has touched. And
Jim Crocker?
And the thing is, singers don't want to admit that they've had it done.
What's his name? Croker?
Croce?
The one that sings like this. Jim Crocker, isn't it?
There's Croce.
Have I told you lately?
Oh, that's the guy that sang the What would you do?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I feel like that was his name.
Joe Crocker. Yeah, Joe Crocker. Yeah. James Crocker? I don't know.
Crocker.
Someone's screaming.
You all being singers, how do you feel when someone puts on the rasp? Like, it's not a real rasp. I feel like a fake rasp is...
That wasn't fake.
His wasn't fake.
Tom
I mean, he
Waits.
sounded like a trash can all the time. But I'm talking, like someone that talks like this and then they start singing and they're like, ooh,
well, we've talked about this on the show.
Wait, your mom does
everyone
that.
does. And they have to choose how to, what they want to sound like. So everything's kind of put on.
Yeah.
In a way. Like, no one, even singing's put on. I mean, no one naturally talks like that. Like, everything's a put on. So I think that...
I guess the extra put on... have you come across raspy singers, Anya? And you're like,
I did watch Don't Look Back, which is so good, the Bob Dylan documentary. Have you guys seen that?
Mm-mm. But I really liked you telling us about it on the girls' chat. I liked
highly recommend.
No, it never changes.
It goes by so quickly. He is it's like that is kind of how he talks. I always thought it was a put on, but it's kind of once you watch him speak and then he goes into his singing, you're like, it's not that different. And it's just such a wild. He's so young and so like full of, I don't know, like this weird energy. Like he's fucking with everybody, all the journalists that come into his room. And then it just reminds me so much of Nikki on tour and just people pulling you in so many different directions. Like, hey, really quick in the green room, can you meet my 5 sons? They're real big fans, and you're going to come to our cabin next time you're in town. And just this whole rigmarole you have to go through. I highly recommend you watch it.
I just want to tell everyone right now, I will never go to a second location with you after a show, no matter who you are. I love meeting everyone. I'm not kidding you. I love my fans. You guys are normal people. I would be friends with you if it was we would be friends who hang out. I enjoy our conversations when we do the meet and greets. I'm never going to go stay at your house. And some of you are like, who would ask you to stay at their house? Who would ask you to go to dinner before the show with strangers you don't know?
It's always the venue owner or like the venue manager who's
like, it happens. So, and you know what? It's so sweet because there are comedians that do that because they're alcoholics and they need people to drink with. Okay? So you're probably like, well, Bert came over and drank with us before the show and after the show.
He was here for a month.
Yeah. He slept on our couch for a year. I'm never going to do that. And it's not because think I'm better than you or because I don't like you. Or I wouldn't do that normally if I lived in Boston and we could be friends. I just can't when I'm on the road, and it's just not going to happen. So, the one time I'll do it is if my friends are going to get laid, maybe from it. Then I'll go. I will go to support you to go hang out with these girls.
Will you open for me at the bar after the show for like 5 minutes?
Like when I was on the road and it used to be like you were single and a meal and stuff, and I would get sad when you guys wouldn't invite me because I'm like, I want to. Do you know this will help? Like I feel like these girls know that we're not.
They want to hang out
it's
with Nikki.
We were afraid Nikki would sleep with all of them.
But
then I'd have to blow a meal.
As long as I have my friends with me, I will go. And as long as there's another purpose there besides me being like having to entertain, absolutely I'll go. But I'm not going to go to your favorite vegan cafe before the show. I don't have time. Here's how it goes. I usually fly in at about like 3 around then is like after a day of travel. We get in at like 3. I have to start getting ready at 5:30. So by the time I get to my hotel, it's usually 4. And then I don't have time to go to your favorite smoothie place and get a vegan thing. But it is sweet when you recommend stuff because we do order food every night from places. So if you do have recommendations for good vegan places near a venue, please send those. But some people are like,
yes,
you gotta come to my cafe. And sometimes it's like my barbecue joint, and I'm like, do you know me, or did you watch one roast?
And then
clip?
you go, is it by the venue? No, it's 6 hours south of here. It's cool though. Like it's a cool vibe. I'm sure you'll dig it.
Yes.
And I have like 2 friends that kind of know who you are, so they'd love to meet you.
No, they don't like you at all.
Yeah, they actually don't like you.
They
Yeah,
hate
they don't
you.
care for you.
But I think that if you met them in person, we could just fuck with them a little bit. And by the way, can we also, this is another popular request that I don't know why people do it. I would never have guessed it was a normal thing. No more asking to make videos for your friend who didn't want to come.
Yeah.
Where I shit talk him and go, you motherfucker, you didn't come to the fucking show, you piece of shit. You poor piece of shit who had to work because you have a fucking daughter to support. Like, you always want me to roast your friend who couldn't afford to come or who doesn't like me.
Yeah.
And it's just, I was reading this New Yorker article about Shane Gillis. And there was this one part where someone in it comes up to him and asks them to make a video for someone who didn't come to the show. And I was so envious of Shane because he just goes, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be mean to your friend. And I always take the bait and I always make the fucking video. And I know for a fact that person's like, why is she so mad at me? Because it's funny in theory that you are like, for coming from you to your friend, this would be funny. But from your friend to your friend from a person that they probably do like and just couldn't make the time or it wasn't important enough to spend the money, it's just like aggressive, and I'll never get that person to like me again.
Because it comes off like the tone is not right. There's no real left turn joke. It'll just be like, you're a fucking loser.
It's one per meet and greet. People ask me to do this, and I think because
you're a roast comedian, I think that's like where people are coming from. They're like, people are gonna think I'm such an asshole for saying all these things. Please still ask me to do funny videos for like people, and I'll just tell you no. I'm not gonna be like, you dumb piece of shit. I'm not gonna roast you in that moment. I'm just gonna say no, but I'm gonna start saying no a little bit more. No's
gotta
good.
save these pipes, and with that, let's go to break, and we'll be back with more. Andrew,
coming round all day and night. Come inside.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking about bizarre fan requests. Do you guys have any more?
I'm trying to think. Like, it's usually, let's get fucked up after the show. They come up to you, and I think it's sad because I feel like they have a whole idea of like, I'm going to go up to them. I'm going to say I have weed and maybe cocaine, and we get some beers. And they probably thought about this maybe 3 days beforehand to be like, and then he'll come out. We're going to have the best time ever. That's the kind of person he is. He loves to get fucking after it after a show. And then I just see like a sadness sometimes in their face when they're like, oh, you don't want to fucking ruin your life tonight?
Well, like, they don't know you that well then, too, because you don't, I mean, I guess you do drink now, but you don't get like fucked up.
No. But there are stories where they're like,
yeah,
dude, remember when you fucking party with Lil Jon? Let's do that tonight, but instead of like going to a strip club and stuff, we'll just be at my house and we'll look at each other in the eyes and do blow. And I'm like, I'm good, I think.
I've gone out with fans before. I mean, I've been doing this 20 years, and so I have definitely ended up at people's apartments and been attacked by their dogs. And
Wait, you got attacked by a dog?
Yeah, this one girl's dog, this waitress at a comedy club in Tampa, her dog attacked me in the face and like, bit my face. It was terrible. Yeah.
What? What did you do?
She was like annoyed by me. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you
I mean,
provoked
I wasn't like bleeding or anything, but it was because I narrowly dodged getting bit, and she like pulled him back, but it was like, it could have been a vicious attack. And I was like, oh God. And this was before Uber, like this is 2000.
Yeah, then you're just stuck.
5, 6, 7, 8. So I would just be stuck at these places and drunk. And I used to hang out after shows. And then it got to be the point where I was a feature act. And I just felt like if I went out with these people, they would just tell me how good the headliner was. And I didn't want to be around that. So there was a window where I would have gone out with people, but I just didn't want to hear how much I sucked. And so I would avoid that. So much of my life is avoiding any kind of criticism. The other day, Anya sent me a clip because I was asking I need to post more clips on Instagram and everything. And I hate watching myself. And so I was like asked on the girls chat that I have with all the girls from Girls Trip, all the girls from the movie Girls Trip.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish. Who else is in that movie?
Yeah,
Jada Pinkett
Kate
Smith.
Walsh.
Was she in that? Was she like a
think
bitchy
so.
white assistant or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
She had a line that became a meme. You go, girl,
really?
or something like that. I
Oh,
can't
like
remember.
a just cheesy white woman saying
Yeah.
"Go girl." But Anya and I was like, if you guys ever come across a clip of mine on YouTube that you think would be good on Instagram, will you just like tell me the timestamp of it so I know? And so Anya was like, this one's 7 minutes, and I go to look at it. And you know how like usually on YouTube, if I'm watching something of mine, I put up my hand so I can't see any comments. I hide it. I cover the screen. But on this one, I didn't because it was a compilation. Yeah, I just like looking at my finger that doesn't have a ring on it yet. Just being like, someday.
It does have a ring.
Yeah, it does. Actually,
won't
Dude,
come
we've
off.
had a million videos of the same videos sent to us now.
I know of people taking
Have you
off a
tried
ring.
that with
No.
the string?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've tried the string one.
Oh.
But the problem is this ring. I have had a ring on my finger
It's still
for
on.
over 6 months. Everyone, October 6th will be 7 months, or no, October 8th will be 7 months since F-Boy Island season finale. That's the first time you will see it on my finger at the elimination ceremony. It won't come off, and I cannot do the string because it has sharp edges on the side. It's like and so the string catches on the edges. So that is it. I really don't mind it. It's a part of me now. I don't even want to get it off. I don't even send me solutions. I don't care. But I do have rings on my ring finger. I have several because it's my most delicate finger. It fits the most rings. It's my favorite finger. It's the prettiest finger I have, and it's the only finger that fits a size, I don't know, 6 or 5 or whatever most of the rings I have are these size. And I think it's so rude
To take away that finger,
you can't
yeah.
use that finger.
That's fucked up.
And that men won't flirt with me if I've got, or you know what? They don't give a fuck. Men don't give a fuck if you're in a relationship. I thought saying that I was in a relationship would like take away a certain amount of attention I get from male suitors. It doesn't. If anything, they come on stronger. It's like because they know you're unavailable.
Pregnant. You could be 8 months pregnant, and the guy's like, "What's up? What are you doing? I don't know. Having a baby in a week."
It's wild. I still stand by the fact that I can't really like post about my boyfriend because I'll lose followers because that's how weird men are. But knowing that I have a boyfriend, they still don't give a fuck. And that is something that I actually, Chris would probably not like me to say this, but I don't want to stop being desired by men just because I'm unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot fuck me, but I hope you still try. It makes me feel pretty. I don't
also
really
a compliment
care.
to Chris.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I feel when people want to fuck Chris. Just people, groups of people. I feel
All
complimented.
genders.
But what was I saying about
You
the
were
ring
holding
thing?
your hand up over
So
the
you're handing
YouTube
over
yeah.
the comments.
So yeah, and then I didn't do that on this one because it was a compilation, and so I thought it's like they'll talk about someone else, or I just wasn't on alert. And of course, the first fucking comment is, "I can't. I would have led the best life if I never saw the second comic." And I'm like, "Who's this? Who's that person?" I'm like, "Oh, poor Roy Wood." And I'm like, "Nope, he's the first. Nikki is the second." And it's just like, But here's the problem because I told to Chris about it, and he goes, that is such a lame thing to say. It's such a classic internet thing. It's almost like saying I don't like female comics, of being like, I could have gone my whole life without seeing that. Because I was talking about my dog going down on me. It's a hilarious bit from my special, the half hour. Or not the half hour, the stand-ups.
So good.
It's one of
funny.
my favorites, and it's hilarious. It's so funny, and I stand by it. And you can hear my old voice on that. But Chris was like, it's just it's just the lamest internet comment. That's like saying like Ikkin has cheeseburgers. Like, it's just like such a classic thing people write, and it means nothing. And I go, the thing is, it does mean something, because what it does, and this happens to me too, and I've talked about it before, when I watch a YouTube video and I see the first pinned thing, the most popular criticism of this, it affects how I view it. So I'm going to go straight to that second person and know this person I'm probably supposed to not like. And whether or not that makes me want to like them more, or whether it sets the tone for how people should feel about you. This is exactly why I am not partaking in this thing I got asked to do, because it involves like a lot of comics with a lot of fans that have already probably don't like me, and although so badly I want to be like accepted by those fans and want those fans to like me, I turned it down because I'm like, this is an opportunity for those people that they're fans of to make fun of me, and for them to set the tone of, this is how we talk about Nikki Glaser, this is how you're supposed to feel about her, and although we're all buddies, this is how we really feel. And it's just, though, be aware though, like, don't you guys feel that you're affected by like comments on things? I look at comments on things to see how people are feeling, and even though I'm a strong person and I know that I shouldn't be persuaded by stuff like that, it does make you look at things differently.
Yeah, it ruins my life. Like, it depends on the comment.
No, but I mean, like, looking at when you watch an innocuous video and you read the comment, doesn't that affect how you kind of view that video?
For sure. And I'll even watch something that I like and then read a comment and go, maybe I'm a fucking idiot. Like, it does mess with me.
And you're smart and savvy. So if it's happening to you, it is. I saw a movie last night, and it made me realize how fucking dumb people are, because I went alone to a movie. I'm not going to say what movie I saw, but the people's enjoyment of this movie made me go, we're done. There's no bar. People are stupid. It's
They
over.
were like laughing at like the most stupid shit ever.
They were just enjoying things in a way that, and thinking this movie is great in a way that I go, how? When I don't want to talk about it, but like, I'm just dumb. I'm so disappointed. I'm disappointed in my fellow man, and it makes me either want to make movies and make TV because I always look at things like Veep or The Wire or Breaking Bad, and I go, what's the point of me making TV? I can say with 100% assurity, I don't even know if that's a word, I will never make something as good as Veep comedically, ever. Or 30 Rock. It's just out of my league. And yes, it took a village to make those shows, but man, people just put out crap, and then everyone how could you make something? I don't know. I guess that holds me back from making art, because I'm like, it can't be as good as that, so I won't make anything. Whereas some people just go, I just wanted to. I don't know.
I feel like sometimes if I made something, it wouldn't be that bad, but it also wouldn't be that good. Like that bad, like
yeah.
So I'd be in the middle, which I
hate the middle.
I'm so middle. I'm in the middle with everything. I'm like 5'9.5". I'm just a little bit overweight. I'm in the my hands are just above small. Like my cock just above small. My breath is okay. My teeth, that's actually below average. My hairline middle.
So middle.
I'm such a fucking middle.
I'm such a middle too,
and I
dude.
want to be a fucking I don't know. I want to be either 6'9" or 3'4".
I hate being a medium. I really do.
You're not.
Medium.
No, I am such a medium as well. And people go, no, Nikki, you've done all this stuff. It's because I just showed up more than you guys did. That's what I did.
That's
I am
not
a medium
true.
as well.
Anya, you weren't saying no when I was saying.
I know. It's so fun to listen to you.
Anya spoke it up. Anya's mic wasn't working before. She was on mute.
No, I wasn't. Yes, it was. Now I was enjoying it, Andrew. I like it.
I know. I'm busting chops.
I relate.
Yeah, I think something can be so bad it becomes extremely popular. And I don't know what that is. I don't know. There's a certain kind of bad that does very good.
People like watching like Hallmark movies. You know, like people like crap. And I understand that because I just go, oh, those people are just stupid.
Well, like SVU people,
they can't. They're not smart enough to enjoy something like Veep. But there are people that are smart enough to get Veep that also enjoy. Like I watched. I don't like to say because I work in the industry. I don't like to say the things that I don't like. But man, it's just I'm rewatching Will and Grace right now. That show is so fucking funny and so well done. I'm rewatching. I watched the pilot of Frasier last night. I cried at that. Not cried, but for me, when I say cried, I teared up at the end. There's so much
of the pilot?
of the pilot. It is. I recommend it. It's on Hulu. You guys.
Does his wife die or something?
Well, this weekend I was at.
Did I give it away?
My friend Greg Warren's comedy special in Lexington, Kentucky, and he had one of his friends there, Mark Gross, who is a showrunner for sitcoms, head writer for a lot of sitcoms that you would know and love. And he was talking to me about developing something. He's like, "Do you have any ideas? You know what's?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And he goes, "I was thinking about multicam because multicam is. I never wanted. By the way, single cam is like." I don't know why I'm giving this example, Dahmer or Veep. You know, that's single cam. And then multicam is like Friends, Frasier, filmed in front of a live studio audience, a Big Bang Theory. That's multicam. And I never wanted to do multicam because they're just so cheesy and they're not real. You know, they don't feel as real as single cam. But then I realized that multicams are so much easier to shoot because it's a live studio audience. You can't keep them for 7 hours. So you get in, it's like doing a play. And it's good for stand-ups because it's interaction with the audience. So it's fun. And I'm like, oh, I would actually love to do a multicam. So I'm starting to think about ideas for that. But I talked to him and I said, yeah, I actually have some ideas. And I think of that as a life that I would want to do is being on a multicam. And I've been watching Will and Grace again, just naturally, like kind of drawn to him. Friends, Seinfeld, everything. And he goes, watch. I was like, I got to write a pilot though. And he goes, watch the Frasier pilot. It's the perfect pilot. It's the so I watched it last night and God damn it, is it ever. It made me, I bet you anything, you'll tear up. You should watch it and tell us tomorrow.
I think you could probably read the script too. That would probably help you. I feel like you're probably
pretty good
with
the captions.
Oh, that's a good point.
Once I write one, I will pull up an example and try to match it as in terms of scene length and stuff like that. But I think I have an idea for one, and I think I really want to do one because
do it. It would be
streamers
so fun.
want them now, and you don't have to be squeaky clean anymore. So you can be do a dirty show.
I remember Louis did. What was his show before?
Lucky Louie.
Lucky Louie was a multicam that was dirty, and which I really enjoyed. Jim Norton was so funny in that. That one dude that always worked the cellar who had
Rick Shapiro was he on it? Yeah,
dude, that dude was. I just remember he was unbelievable. He has some monologues in it but that's what I kind of can see from a show maybe that you would maybe want to do something.
I'm gonna watch that.
Still
one again,
dark humor, but also multicam, and you're like, oh.
But even Friends and Seinfeld, I could do. Clean
you could
because it's so fun and and I never really thought about the studio audience and feeding off that. And that is why I've been I don't want to do TV because TV is so boring. You just wait around all day in a trailer and then you shoot the scene. And by the time you actually get the scene, it's the last take. And you're like, oh, God, are they going to even use that one? It's just so...
Then you need a vision of where's the scene going to take place? We got to fucking lock down that whole boulevard or whatever. And then...
Yeah.
But if it's just oh...
And they don't give you feedback. When you do a scene, they don't go, that was amazing, because they just think you're an actor who already knows you're amazing, because most actors already do think they're amazing. But I'm someone who constantly needs validation, so having a studio audience would be incredible. I didn't even think about that.
Maybe you could just have silent clappers on set, where it's that was fucking great.
With golf, do you feel that way? Do you ever hit a shot and you're like, is anyone going to see that?
Yes, I'm the worst. When I would surf with my stepper, I'd catch a wave, and then I'd ask everyone, people that didn't even know me, I go, did you see that? Did you see me? They're like, you're such a fucking loser. I remember I had a hit in middle school. I laid this guy out so good, and no one said anything, but one father Yeah, one father
serving.
was driving us home in football.
Oh, yeah, I
and he
remember
goes,
this story.
"Hey man, that was one of the best hits I've ever seen." I go, "Yeah, so what was the hit like? What did it look like to you?" And like I asked him like 45 questions, and by the end of it, he's like, I fucking hate this kid."
It's funny because you were aware at the time that was obnoxious, yet you couldn't help yourself because you wouldn't remember it unless you knew it was obnoxious.
It just comes down to my dad not giving me enough credit,
Yeah.
and then if I got credit from an older man, any old man,
Yes.
I'd be like, but yeah, I'm horrible at that, needing validation.
Yes.
I've gotten better. I just do it because I like the progression of it rather than like
Yes.
the like, hey, great job, way to go.
Anya, do you seek that as a musician? I mean, you have to wait for a whole song until the claps, and you get claps no matter what.
Oh yes.
Well, you
already
get claps if you're performing, but not at home struggling with a song. Like I've been working on
Yeah.
a song this weekend, and I'm just like, why do I do this? It is agony. It is just.
Well, send it to me, and I'll go. This is amazing. Like
I will when it's done, but the process is like, ugh, it's so grueling. It's like for the first 2 days, it's just like baby steps. Like I took a shitty idea.
I thought that was
I
hilarious.
thought that was the song. Too.
I was like, Amy
Baby,
Grant's kind of
baby,
touched that
baby.
already. I was like,
No, it's coming along. It's going to be good. But the shitty thing
I
with
was
songwriting
asking you about
is
that. It
you're
seems
alone.
hard.
What do
Yeah,
you do?
it's-
Do you hum first? Do you start with a chorus?
I had an idea 3 months ago that I loved that I played with, and I was like, that's just so Baroque and weirdly classical. How can I make that into a song? And I just put it away, and then
What does
I
that
have a
mean? What do you mean?
songwriting-
What was the idea that made you go, that's Baroque? Like, I couldn't think of anything that I
It
would
just
describe as
sounds
Baroque
very
except
like it sounds old timey. It sounds like not like hey, like a lot of my songs have this like
Baby,
hey,
baby,
it's a
baby,
cabaret.
baby. Okay.
It's just like dee, 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 dee. It like sounds like that. It's like a melody like that.
Yeah.
And but
Like
it
Taylor
resolves
Swift's
and
The
it's
Lakes.
is that how? So she has stuff like that. That makes me feel better.
Yes. Yes.
But then I had an idea, and it's like kind of a rap, like a hip hoppy, not a rap, but like in the sense that Fiona Apple sort of does rhythms like that. So I'm kind of doing a song like that, like my song "Shut Up," which is sort of like talky singing. And then I had the idea to put in like the Baroque thing fit right in. I was like, oh, that's great. That's great for the chorus. So kind of like leather tying those things together, like your surgeon.
You could be a
with the
surgeon,
leather and
yeah.
your vocal cords. And now it's like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, but it took 3 days and I'm not done yet.
I don't know that I could be a songwriter because of that. It's just, I've been trying to write songs too, and it's just, I get bored after 2 minutes and I feel accomplished at like writing one thing or coming up with one, and then it takes too long. And comedy for me doesn't
Comes so
take
easy.
long. And I just
It's
don't know if I can
immediate.
do it.
Yeah, I mean, when you're writing jokes, you're not laboring over it, right? You're like doing
No,
it in the
I just
moment.
am putting it. I just say something in conversation that kind of makes you laugh harder than usual, and then I surreptitiously take out my phone and jot it down, and then a month later, I'm about to go on stage, and I'm like, I want to do something new, and then I'll look at my note, and it'll say Chopstick Fiesta, and I'll go, oh, and then I'll just walk on stage. As I'm reading it, I'm walking on stage, and then I'll say something on stage, and then it'll either work or won't, and then over the course of 7 sets, it will become something or it won't, but I will not look at it or think about it outside of those 7 sets even once.
Do you
Do you
give up
guys
on
think
any?
that-
Well,
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But they stay in my phone, and then maybe a year later, I'll bring back Chopstick Fiesta and try it a different way to say it.
yeah.
But it's not like intentional. It's never like, I literally just like scroll in bring up my notes and just go whoosh, and see where it lands and stop and go, okay. So I'll do something from like months or years ago sometimes that it's just such a slow way of working. It's so lazy. It's so lazy. And
Do you
songwriting
guys
is
feel
not
like
lazy.
do you feel like you are doing comedy in service to others? Like when someone comes up to you after a show and says, "Oh my God, that meant so much to me," like that, like I finally feel like someone got me, or I feel less shame about X, Y, or Z because you talked about it. Is that sort of part of why
I do
you
that
do it?
now. I do that now where I'm like, oh, this is something that people need to fucking know about this. This is important, but I think initially, no, you just do things that, will people like me if I do this, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I did shows all weekend. I did any joke that I do that's like not about me. seems to always really fail. Like, especially the first time I tell it. Like, if it's about a subject, you ever write something and you're like, this is funny. I know it's funny.
Comedian to do.
Yeah, like it's just like for someone that talks about subjects outside themselves. Like I was talking about space, and like I had this whole idea about space, and I'm like in the middle of telling it, I go, I don't care about my opinion on this. Like while I'm saying it out loud, even though I think it's funny,
because then that's you.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I didn't say that out loud. Maybe I should say I don't care about. Well, that was the whole idea.
I don't care about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
You know, I'm
like,
listening
unless it's
to
like
you
a
guys.
person. Yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
I'm listening to you guys talk about like your creative process and how it varies between the three of you, but like the type of work that you put into it. And then going back to what Nikki was saying about going to the movie theater and wondering like, why is the audience liking this when it's so terrible? So I'm thinking and I'm wondering, maybe instead of looking at like how the audience ingests it, you look at like, well, what is TV and Hollywood putting out right now? Is it this like honest form of creativity, or is it just like a formula that gets people acting like mechanical robots and reacting to it?
Yeah, that is a trick. Is like they tell you when to laugh. So you know, either with a laugh track in sitcoms or just the way you can say something. I can deliver a line, and if I do that, you're gonna laugh a little bit louder because I'm going like, and there's the punchline, and so you can learn a cadence. I guess our styles kind of fit like who we are. Like Anya is just much more like she will fold a towel and like set it down gently. Like she's a slower person, so like you can do slower things that take time. Like I could see you like baking too and enjoying that process of like a slow process, whereas I'm like, why would anyone ever bake anything? It's so slow.
You can just microwave all the ingredients in the box, right?
I mean, when I smoked weed, I would always just smoke out of a pipe. When people would roll joints, I'm like, that's like the oven of weed. I'm gonna use the microwave. What are you doing?
I didn't use an oven until I was like 32 years old.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. Maybe later.
Right. I mean, I agree with you. I never used an oven. I just don't like taking a long time, and I think that's why I like comedy. It's just right away. It's funny. Like I know something funny right away because the only reason it ends up in my notebook is because it already got a laugh.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and I think that's the difference between you writing about space is being like, I think I have an idea here. Like it didn't get a laugh initially. It was in your head being like, this could be funny, as opposed to, oh, I said this to Brenna and she laughed, and then I'm going to make something of it. So I already know it's a win.
Yeah, I think the initial thing was funny. I did say it out loud, and then when I started to like expand on it and like write about it and like compare it to something else, then it just became like an analogy kind of joke.
Where you try to like become another comedian.
I don't know what I was doing.
I do that all the time where I'm like, how would like Sam Morrill tell this joke? Or like I'm watching a lot of Mark Norman, so I'm like, oh, well, that would be like if I took a toothbrush and I stuck it up my ass. And then it's like, well, that's not the way I talk.
Yeah.
Comedy.
But I also think that is the way you discover what works for you and not.
Sorry about that. I was just saying everyone has influences, and I swear every artist that thinks they're ripping someone off, they really aren't. Like often Matt, my partner, will be like, is this a total ripoff of whatever?
Do you say
Wise
partner
Blood
because you're older and you don't want to say fiance or boyfriend?
I'm gay.
Because partner, I gotta say, we gotta quit partner unless you're gay.
No, I think that's dated, Nick.
No, it's sending the wrong. When I hear someone say, if people don't know who you are and you say partner, I'm gonna assume gay.
Babe, I was with you in 2010, but now I have to say no because everybody is partnered.
But why don't you say boyfriend?
I don't know. I can if I want, but I feel too old to say boyfriend. And fiance
that's it. Okay, so that's
ridiculous.
what I'm saying. It's an old thing. It's about feeling like you feel ridiculous. But
yeah,
I'm not trying to be. Everyone knows
I hate
how I feel about
trans rights.
Lover.
But I just
my lover.
I love lover. If you're trying to be funny, like lover is like your. But partner, unless you're working at a law firm or you're gay, like
Or
that is
a
a way to
cowboy.
tell people that you're
A partner.
or say boyfriend if you're gay or girlfriend if you're gay. Like, but when you hear
But
partner, I think it just confuses people because then they go, "Oh, she's avoiding saying that she's gay, but she's gay."
I know, but I think I'm with you. Believe
your
me, I
haircut?
don't even like partner. What?
I'm just kidding. I'm just
What'd you say? I'm
saying
gay?
other things that make me think you're gay.
What, the blazer? It couldn't be the
yeah,
blazer.
Sorry, I'm wrecking. My boyfriend will often
Yes.
try to imitate, or he'll be like, I got influenced by such and such band. Is this a total ripoff of, let's say, Wise Blood or something? And I'm like, I can't hear that influence at all because it's coming through your voice and your guitar. So just go with it. So I think if you think you're imitating Mark Norman, I bet the results would be great and not a ripoff at all.
And I do think it's a good thing to do, and that you shouldn't avoid ripping off someone because as long as you're not actually stealing their joke, it will take you in a different direction. Like, you know, get you out of the way that you do every single joke that you do. Not you, but like anyone.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go to break. We'll come back with more with my partners Anya and Andrew.
Thanks, lover. Appreciate it.
And we're back. Can we do a little bit of news, Anya or Noah?
Sure. Anya?
You guys both have
I'll
those
allow
names
it.
with at the end,
Yeah,
and
it's
so you know,
Oz.
Andrew.
Nikki.
Okay, let's go through the news quickly. Here it
Shit,
comes.
That's not good.
Nikki, Well, you said you didn't say er.
You heard it here first. Yeah, you heard it here first.
All right, it's the news. Welcome to the news. I'm Andrew Collin, and it's
It's
Tuesday,
Monday, folks. You know what that means? It's Monday. Hope you're having all this well. Back to you, Naya.
Okay,
That's
did you
Noah.
guys know that when you're stressed, a dog detects the chemical changes in your body through your breath, and then the dog reflects your state of mind? So dogs
Yes,
experience
that
an
checks out.
emotional contagion and mirror or reflect their owner's state of mind.
It's so true. Sometimes, if I'm seeking Luigi's attention and affection, I will mimic being distressed because whenever I'm crying or on the verge of tears, he always kind of like gets out of bed and looks at me. Like even if I'm just like, if I just go like he'll sense it. So sometimes to get his affection, I will try to seem stressed. And I'm stressed all the time, so I'm sure he's like, you know, it's hard to react
it's
to
not-
something that's constant.
So they're not, the study found that they're not really reading your body language, but when we're stressed, there's some kind of chemical that's excreted in our breath, and
Yes.
the dogs smell that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like he can smell it from across the room, like my change, because I know that like dogs can. I read about their smell this morning and reading this. We have 6 million whatever receptors on our nose, and they have 300 million, and they can smell a droplet of a substance in 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools, one droplet, whereas we could not, you know. So, and they
That'd be
also, their
so
noses,
annoying.
when we smell something, air also comes in at the same time we smell, but they block off in their nose. Air and smell come from different places. So they're sucking in air in one hole, and then it blocks it off, and they get aroma in another. And when we breathe out, it's pushing all the air and the smell out, whereas when they breathe out, it's circulating more back in. So it's insane. We don't even understand.
It's so weird
they're
that there's
capable of.
certain senses on certain animals are so much better than humans. Yet they
Yet we
can't
dominate them.
Yeah, we dominate them, and they can't like write a speech. You know what I mean? Like
And
I
their
like
brains
taking,
are made of peanuts.
Yeah,
No, they're just so dumb down.
But their noses are unbelievable. They're
You
better
see their
than any
noses
human.
twitching around. They're like your tongue.
Can you imagine your morning breath to a dog? A dog has to be like, I fucking hate you.
Well, it said dogs
Or
hate. No, they love stink.
they
hate
love
scents.
Do you
when
remember
we
Nikki's
use
air treat
toothpaste.
jokes?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was in that same set, I think, where I said that when you fart, it's like giving your dog an air treat.
So he likes the
Yes. I don't think I ever said it because it grossed people out so much, but yeah, maybe that was.
So a dog likes the smell of shit Because they go into shit a lot.
Well-
Oh, yeah,
literally.
it masks their own scent, so it's good for their survival. They don't want to be smelled by other predators. But
Wait,
my dog, Willa, she, sometimes when I'll start crying, I'm like really ramping it up for her because I know she likes licking the tears off my face. And yesterday I just let her go to town and lick my entire face because I was sobbing.
Did you go
And then-
wash your face immediately? Were you like grossed out? Yeah.
Immediately. And also, I think she gets jealous and they say that dogs can smell your pheromones because the second Matt will hug me or kiss me in the kitchen, like she just shoves her nose right into my pussy or my butthole.
Whoa.
It's so weird.
Depending
Yeah,
on the
and I'm
time
like,
of month.
I'm getting
Which hole's
double.
Double troubled there.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
my anus opens. When
Yeah, it is
happens.
weird when you copulate in front of your dog.
You're gonna know when to break up with Matt when she doesn't run up to your vagina because you're gonna know that you don't feel the same way.
Yeah, he's gonna be like,
it's like a
"Why
bomb
isn't
sniffing
Willa
dog. It's a
going
love
down on you
sniffing
right
dog.
now? Do you not love me anymore?"
Do I not
She's
turn
like a
you on anymore,
groundhog.
Willa? Smell the pussy.
Yeah, apparently the dogs hate our, like, they really resent us for deodorant and perfumes and just
That's why
different
I don't wear
sprays.
it.
It's, yeah. So you're really, I mean, this weekend on the girls' chat, I was horrified by a thread of things that got revealed about dogs. Can you just?
Oh no.
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 No. Well, I'll
Boundary.
say that one of my friends, her dog ate her poop this weekend because she had to poop in her yard because she was locked out of a house. And then her dog ate her shit. And I have to say that if my dog ate I have no problem with pooping in a yard. All that checks out. She had no other option. She was in like Colorado in the fucking boonies, and she was locked out of her parents' house that had this like code on it. So she had to poop in the yard. The dogs ate the poop. I would say though that I would probably not interact with Luigi for a month after that if I knew he gobbled my shit.
Because you were too turned on.
Yeah, I couldn't look in the eyes of how fucking horny I would be and jealous.
I mean, talk about eating ass. Wait, what? How
Everyone
did she?
was like lighthearted about it and being like, "Oh, that's so funny," and I was seriously like, "You need to put that dog down."
It probably will die.
All dogs.
I mean, depending
would
on
do
her
that.
diet. All dogs.
But
I don't care
Literally
if they
all
do it
dogs
or
would
not.
do
Of
that
course
if
they
they
would
could.
do it, but I would not keep that dog in my house afterwards. I don't know what I would
Why?
make
You're
him.
not gonna be. You're not
Is
gonna
it
be
about your
shitting
dog or
regularly
your-
in your house.
What? I just don't want his shit mouth that like
Yeah, but you
touched
just
my
brush
shit.
their teeth.
With what? If you're shitting in your front yard, you don't have a dog
Yeah, but you'll
toothbrush on
still
hand.
make out with your boyfriend if he eats your butt.
I wouldn't.
There,
No, I
great
wouldn't. And my
point.
boyfriend does not do that.
I'm just okay. Well, I'm
but I
just saying.
absolutely
like,
would not. Absolutely would not.
So you would.
I
you
have a
wouldn't-
line. But
All I
everyone
said
in the
was-
chat was just like, "That's hilarious." Oh,
But
yeah,
you're
my
so
dog.
like anti-shaming. What is this? Like I thought you were not into people shaming themselves. So I let my dog eat my poop when I was 8.
That's different. But that's different because you were 8. But I
well, why
don't
are you
understand being
saying-
an adult woman that her dog ate her
Partners.
shit, and then like I wonder if she even let her dog back in the car with her, or like
No,
what
she was horrified. She was like, "I'm disgusted with this dog." I was horrified. She tried to get rid of it, and then I think he went for more. She was like, "What are you doing?" Like she was in dire straits.
and she goes, "What did he eat?"
Oh yeah, and then she
I
was
would've
a
locked the
protein
dog out.
bar, popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn. What was in there?
She probably ate dog food. Wait, do you think then? What if she
It
eats?
really tested my boundaries of like I when my dog eats like my dogs. First of all, I've never seen my dog eat shit. They sniff it, but I've never seen and I know that's a normal thing for dogs to do. I don't think my dogs are better
Some
than your
dogs
dogs,
are
but my
really
dogs
into it,
don't
yeah.
eat shit. I've never had a dog that eats shit. I've never seen it happen. I do know that they smell other dog shit, and I do not allow them to because I heard that their nose can suck up worms, and that's how
But
worms
babe, if
can
it
get
was
into-
yours, they would in a second. They love you.
They would
Oh,
smell
you
it and
think it's
maybe try to
connected
lick
to
it
the
or something,
owner?
but I've never seen them try to eat shit. I have to say, like, and sometimes I've been on my phone and haven't been paying attention and they're sniffing a place for a while. They don't go to eat the shit.
All I know is when it happened to me, I was shocked too.
Yeah.
I wonder if it tastes like caviar to them. Like it's like human shit. Like,
It must be delicious to them. There's no judgment on them doing it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I would have a hard time letting that dog back in my home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really would.
It would.
All right,
It'd be
next
several
story.
days. Okay.
several.
Taylor Swift says her new song Anti-Hero confronts the things I hate about myself. In the latest Midnight's Mayhem with Me post, Swift said that she struggles a lot with the idea that life has become unmanageably sized, and says that she struggles with the idea of not feeling like a person.
I know. I would feel that it's nice to hear that she struggles like we all do. And she even said in this thing, so she's been doing this thing ahead of her release of Midnights, which is coming October 21st, I believe, that she's been doing this thing every couple days where she spins this like little cage of all these little ping pong balls, and they each have a track number on it, and then she reveals the name of the track, the name of the song. And to Swifties, this is a huge deal just to know the name of a song, because we just get excited about this dumb shit. And then last night, for the first time, she did track 3, and it was called Anti-Hero. And then she put on a reel on Instagram that was this interview she did about the song Anti-Hero, and it's about all of her insecurities and how, what Noah just said. It was hard to hear her say what I hate about myself, because I was just like, really? I mean, I can't wait for the song to find out, but I'm surprised. I'm glad she's putting it out there, because I think everyone, no matter how perfect they are, does hate things about themselves. And also, I feel like once you get to a certain level, you're not supposed to say you hate anything about yourself, even if you do, because you're setting an example for young women not to hate themselves. And I've always said, fuck that. So I'm glad to hear that. But I like how, like, kind of just, she's usually so poised, and every word that she picks is already pre-written. Like, we've heard her do the NYU speech. We've heard her give, like, kind of acceptance speeches for different awards recently, and it's all been very scripted. So it was nice to see this little interview with her where she was kind of just, like, shooting from the hip. You could tell she was kind of just like, I don't know, it's just I really like this song, and because it's very honest. And I'm like, oh my God, if you're saying this song is honest, what are we gonna get? I'm so excited about this album. It's all songs that she wrote in the middle of the night when she couldn't sleep. Anya, have you ever written a song in the middle of the night when you can't sleep, like woken up and been like, I have to get this song out?
Oh, I wish. I've had song ideas come to me in dreams, and I'll record them into a voice memo. It's been a while since I've done that, like a year and a half. But no, I've never written a song fully in my sleep. I have written one song called Go to Bed out of an insomnia moment,
I love
but
that
not
song.
actually in the middle of the night. But that's exciting. Do you think her saying that she's human like the rest of us and struggling is also premeditated? Because she's such a savvy businesswoman. Or do you
Everything
buy it?
she does, she knows what she's doing, but this felt very casual to me. The way she was talking felt like she was doing almost like a podcast. Like, she didn't really know where the sentence was going to go, and she was choosing great words because she's just amazing and smart. But I really liked that she said, what was the part that was my favorite? Oh, I was just going to say it. She said, my life has become unmanageably sized. Instead of being like bragging, being like, it's so big. Oh, at one point she goes, and by the way, don't feel sorry for me, please. It's not like, wah, like, don't, please, no pity. Like, she didn't want anyone. She needed to say that too, because she's like, to hear someone complain about like, I hate my life when you're Taylor Swift, it's hard to hear this, like,
and she'll get
billionaire.
shit for even saying that, like, of being like, oh, like giving like a disclosure before, like, I know this is gonna, you know what I mean?
The
but
way
at least
she did it,
better.
though, if you watch it, is so masterfully done. You can't be mad at her. She's just adorable. She's sweet. I cannot wait for this album. I am resentful of how much she puts out and how constantly she is working and writing. And I'm just so I just can't believe.
I know.
She exists.
I wonder, does she have time for a relationship?
I think so. She seems happy. I think I would love to see a day in her life, like how she manages a day off. I mean, that's the stuff. That's why I want to be friends with her. I just want to see how she manages her life. And she bakes a lot. I know, and likes cooking and stuff, and she's just like likes decorating, and she's God.
But she's not doing a million podcasts. She's not doing. There's a lot of things she's not doing where she probably has a decent amount of time for herself.
I went through 3 weeks without doing any podcast or doing anything, and I did not write nary a song or a joke or anything. I mean, it was just like with a free time. I do not like free time, and I will stand by that the rest of my life. I just got 3 weeks of it, and I did not like it. I do
You
not
seem
like
to
it.
do so much reading, and you seem to be doing a lot of stuff. Like you've ingested
Always on my
everything.
phone, though.
Oh, and you wanted to be off your device?
No, I mean, like, I never like sit in a chair with an overhead light over my book. It's me in bed, bundled, and 62-degree, like my air conditioning blasting. Me bundled under the covers in the dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it is beautiful outside, like 77 degrees, gorgeous day, the nicest day of the year. And I'm in my room in the dark with the blackout curtains drawn, reading a book about the AIDS crisis.
Why is that bad? That sounds
Because
relatively comfortable, except for the content.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Or like I'm on Reddit, which, might seem stupid, but I'm usually reading about interesting things that I care about. So I don't know, because anything that feels good or feels like the act of someone who's depressed feels guilty. Like if you're not enjoying the weather, you are a bad person.
It's the nicest week of the year.
Yeah.
And you're inside? What the fuck's wrong with you? Don't you
What do you
understand
guys
it's
do
73
what
and
do you
sunny?
do when you have nothing to do? I know you golf, but like what do you do if there's no golfing and you just have the afternoon and there's no podcast to do, there's no cleaning to be done, there's no cooking to be done, there's no meal prep. What the fuck do you guys do?
I mean, I had a lot
I feel
of
like
time
there's
off.
always something.
Yeah.
Like what?
What do you do, Andrew?
I did buy a book.
Okay, so you bought a book.
I bought a book. I started reading it. It's The Life of Leonardo da Vinci.
What made you do that?
Oh.
I went to a bookstore and I felt like, I don't know, I missed the feeling of a book in my hand.
But what made you choose that book?
Because I read this guy, I forget the fucking name of the author, but he wrote the Steve Jobs biography.
Oh yeah, Walter Isaacson.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed that. And I really like Leonardo da Vinci for the first 70 pages, and then it starts getting into the technical things of how he paints, and then loses me.
You start having to reread every paragraph.
I just like give me a simple story. Like he went to the farm and then he moved to the big city.
Yes.
And the big city was scary for Leonardo, but he started drawing with pen.
Yeah.
And that's good for me. And I'm like, I know the story of Leonardo da Vinci. I don't need to know, like, you could tell it's Leonardo by the landscape of the cloud and how the sad face.
I have tried to read John Steinbeck's East of Eden so many fucking times because on the Reddit subreddit books, it's always listed as the #1 best book of all time.
What? Really?
Like people love East of Eden. And
what's wrong with it? What's so hard?
I have to hear about the fucking geography of the Northern California Valley and the scapes and the mountains and the grasslands and the wetlands and the deltas and it goes on so long. I cannot get past the first 3 pages because I'm so I don't want to hear about clouds. Stop describing clouds.
Yes, I don't need the picture.
Your voice.
I can't stand a description of the topography in a fucking book. I don't want to hear about what the shingles on the roof look like. I don't want to hear about what the sconces or a gate. Like if you're describing a scene, just tell me the type of house, tell me the type of neighborhood, and get on with the fucking story.
By the way, make your book 3 fucking chapters. I don't need 15
chapters. Throw in a molestation
chapters.
in the first 4 pages, and you got me hooked.
That's in chapter 7.
Some of these publishers, they're like, we need 80,000 words or we're not paying you. Fuck.
I am tired of people recommending books that make them seem smart. Stop it. Just tell me what you actually like to read, which is something that actually was written recently and does not describe a bucolic field or like seascape. I'm so tired. Every book reads like The Old Man in the Sea, and I know that's a great book, but I'll never get through
That's
it.
actually an easy book to read.
I don't want to read
I've
about
read that
geography
one.
anymore.
That one's actually easy, though. That one's like 80 pages.
Final thought.
You could do that one. He catches the fish.
Let's do a quick with top one, bottom one. This category today is
Old technology.
old technology. Top one, bottom one. Let's start with bottom. Worst old technology. Andrew.
Oh, wait, I thought we were gonna start. Okay, here, Anya, you go first. Sorry.
Old technology. Speak and spell?
Yes, that was a boring thing.
But it was kind of like you don't like it?
I don't know. I couldn't think of one. It was cool for the time, but they could have done better, couldn't they have? I mean, it
Yes.
was just a little boring, and it took forever, but it was radical.
I liked
for
the
time.
handle on it, though, that you could walk around with it. And
I don't even know
toast
what
around.
that is.
Yeah, you type in things in and it would talk. It was pretty much like my robot voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Noah, your least favorite.
The Palm Pilot. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the Palm Pilot. Yeah.
I never had
The
one.
Sideways. Did that open sideways?
No, that was cool though.
The
It had
sidekick.
sidekick.
pen.
That would go.
The Palm Pilot had a pen. It was for like people
I
that
had
thought they
Palm
were
Pilot.
doing business.
It was
Everyone
so
do their
expensive.
best
Not worth it.
sound of someone typing on a Palm Pilot.
On a Palm Pilot?
Yeah,
or
with
like
your
a-
mouth. That's good. Okay, that was not great. That sounded like a typewriter.
No, that was just
Okay,
funny.
here's one.
That's funny. Sounds like a mouse eating
that's
a little
really
mouse's
good.
vagina.
A mouse who's in love, smelling another mouse. Okay.
Sounded like that dog eating.
Yeah,
that
Palm
owner's
Pilots. I
poop.
never used them, but they were recently became extinct. I think just recently. It was like the last Palm Pilot, or not Palm Pilot.
Did you ever have a BlackBerry?
BlackBerry is the one that I was thinking.
Is
Aren't they the
BlackBerry
same?
done? Wow.
My uncle Dennis.
BlackBerry's a little clickier.
That maybe that's what I was doing the impression of. That makes sense now. My least favorite old technology, because I Googled old technology just to see
Same.
a list. And this is one I learned about just now, and it is by far the worst. It's called the bathing machine. The bathing machine was a device popular from the 18th century until the early 20th century. It would allow people to change into their swimwear while on the beach. So women would go in, they would take off their petticoats and their dresses and everything, and then they would change into their swimwear, which was essentially like a onesie, a giant onesie, still very covered up. And then because it was so embarrassing to like walk into the water, the thing would then, this big, outhouse type thing would be rolled into the sea. And then you would get out of it in the sea, and then it would come back onto the
What
sand.
the hell?
Just all because about to hide women's
nudity.
bodies.
Yeah.
And men were allowed to swim nude. And women had to get in this fucking bathing machine.
They needed like a submarine, essentially.
Yes.
I mean, how much would something like that cost back then? You'd pay. That seems extremely expensive.
Well, it was like every beach had one. You
I
know
guess
what I mean?
beaches were very crowded back in it, especially like in the Northeast and stuff.
Yeah.
There were like thousands of people on the beach.
Because it was like hot, no AC.
Yeah.
There was nothing to do.
Yeah.
There was no TikTok. I love that. I love when one time when I was at Daniel Boone's home, like touring it with my parents on some kind of road trip, the woman was like, well, Daniel Boone didn't have Nintendo. Now, did he? He didn't have TV. So she went through every technology he didn't have to
Yeah.
really like drive it home. We were like, okay, we get it.
Well, fucking, I did a report on Daniel. That's so weird, Daniel Boone. Like where you remember you'd pretend to be. Did you ever have to do something where you had to be frozen all day as that character?
No. That's so weird. Can you
imagine
to be
Andrew
frozen?
Maybe it was
Frozen as Daniel
cosplay that my pedophile uncle made me
And
do.
it's just
but-
like this, like frozen in time.
yeah, no, I did. I had to wear one of the raccoon hats or whatever,
Oh, that's cool.
and I was just Daniel
That's
Boone
cute.
for a day.
You should do
Didn't he-
comedy
what did
like
he
that.
But
do?
you were frozen?
Didn't he fight in Texas? Yeah, you just had to stand
He was
there.
a frontiersman, I believe. I don't really remember. I know he didn't play Nintendo.
My bottom one, I know at the time it was great, but it wasn't that. The tape player, I guess at the time was great, but now,
Like VCR?
no, like tapes, like
Yeah.
I just remember
They're so cute now.
how
retro.
because I didn't take care of my things, I wouldn't put in
always get.
the tape, the shit would always come out, and I'd have to rewind it in with a pencil, and I never did it well, and then the music wouldn't sound good, and then
Yes.
you'd have to go through 15 songs to find one song
It
because
was
it didn't
hard
tell
to
you.
figure out where you were in a tape. Yeah.
But you know what I
agree.
do like about a tape player? I miss the sound of plastic closing. like
Oh
that.
yes.
Like that. Just that.
Just
like
machines working, or like even a multiple disc player, like an old CD player that would do like 5. It'd be like,
what is this, Eminem?
it was so good.
Yeah, no,
It was so crunchy and
Oh,
satisfying.
it's so crazy. Remember when you go in remember when we go into the old theaters and they have those like, I mean, that's before our time, but like you had to be really strong to like work in electronics, and everything like was like,
Well, theaters, what do you mean?
Like the big metal like bars, like
The
to like
projector, he means.
fuck with the lights and everything.
Oh,
you never seen that in the back of the theaters, like the old
No.
school.
I think it's
like
just
things
some
to do.
pimpled teenager pressing play.
That's what it was.
Are you
but
talking
before,
about like for theatrical productions or for films?
theatrical productions?
Oh, yeah, he's talking about like lights and the whole.
And it's all like
the
clanking,
rig.
just like freaking.
Yeah,
I don't know.
miss
Everything
sounds.
Yeah, I do too. Everything's quiet now. Everything's silent.
I do like keyboard sounds though. Satisfying.
Can you?
All
try-
right,
Oh yeah, top one. I
top
guess.
one.
I want to switch my answers now. I think Speak and Spell was the top thing ever, and my worst thing
wow.
is disposable cameras. But I can't
Disposable
decide if I'm
cameras.
nostalgic.
Oh, I liked those.
Remember?
Oh, I love the wind. The sound
Me
of the
too.
wind.
And the sound of the like
Oh, yeah.
when you would turn on the flash, it'd go like
Oh, where you'd hold it,
it would
down.
be like a high pitched sound that your dog could only
Nikki,
hear.
you're so good at these things.
Click.
I forgot about that.
And the click when you hit the thing, it's like that's the picture. The
and then
picture's
you
there.
would see it like the number when you didn't when you
Yes.
had like 4 left, but that last sometimes you would be like, do I have 1 left?
and then
you
keep
wouldn't
winding.
know.
Yes.
Oh, and then you would know when it wouldn't stop winding.
And then you
That's
bring
when
it
it was
to
over.
fucking like Walgreens, and then a week later you had your memories in a fucking envelope.
And it was about 3 good pictures, and the rest were just nightmares.
Trash.
Just like like you were taking pictures of space. was
yeah, every photo back then
inside
is
your
us
purse.
trying to take a photo of the moon now with our phones.
Oh
It's
my
like,
god, yes.
What's your
Yeah, I
top
got
one?
nostalgic for it because
Oh.
I saw a picture of Kate Moss and Pete Doherty or Doherty or however you say his name from the Libertines, and they were walking around like 15 years ago, and she's clutching a packet of cigarettes and a digital camera or a disposable camera.
So
not digital.
90s. It was probably 25 years ago.
Yeah, now there's
Yeah,
people
oh,
that,
that's
like,
right. Yeah, not 15.
I know. Everything you have to update all of like. I recently realized I had to update my like 10 years ago. I need to just go. Well, it's probably 15.
Yeah,
and now my
yeah,
15 is now 20. About every so often, you got to make that update.
You know what makes me
It's
so
ready.
angry is when people go, do you know that 1945 was closer to 1980 than we are now? And I'm
Yeah,
like, fuck you, dude. I don't. God, that makes me
Because
feel
it
like
does
I'm
blow
gonna
your
die
mind.
tomorrow. I know.
I know. That really bothers me too. I thought you were gonna say like, who cares? But the thing is,
No,
it's
it
really
hurts.
significant.
Wait, 1945 is closer to
No,
19.
that was just
they
an
do,
example.
Like,
but
19, like Woodstock was closer to 19. Like there's things that like 1969 was closer to. I
to
forget.
1980 than today would be to 19. So whatever. Yeah, obviously, whatever. 1980 minus 40 years.
Like
That's
the point is in the 90s you would look at the 60s like whoa way back then, but now the 90s are what the 60s were to that time
Oh,
to
right.
us,
Yeah,
and it's like
it's
oh
crazy.
my god, the 60s and the 90s was like a century ago, and now the 90s to us
Or if
seem
you're
like it was
learning about
yesterday.
World War II in the 90s, that would be about like kids learning about the first Iraqi war now.
Yes.
Like that's
Yeah.
fucking weird. Anyways.
All right, my number one
yeah.
thing is the high school or middle school or whatever school projector screen.
You hated that or
I
loved
it.
Yeah, it's nice.
They'd roll that out. The lights would come down. I would get ASMR. I would almost fall asleep every single time. I would be having to fight sleeping the entire time. But then the pens would come out, and sometimes the pens would be terrible. But when there was a fresh batch of pens, and the way they would write on that thing, and the way that you could watch your teacher's handwriting, which was very exciting. There is
Yes.
just something so soothing about that. I miss it so much. And yeah, that was my probably favorite technology.
A lot of times when that came out,
Old
that's
technology.
probably going to be a substitute teacher, and you know you don't have to fucking listen or really do anything.
Yeah, because they can't call on you in the dark. It's like you're
Yes.
protected in the dark. No one's gonna bully you in the dark. Like it was
you in
just-
your room when it's 70 degrees
Yes,
out looking at
I
Reddit.
like when it would get dark in a room, and then the projector, and then the sound of the pens. It was all very ASMR.
Compared to chalk too. I mean,
I love chalk though.
I was a lefty. I'd get chalk on my hand. You know, I just
like
missed
you were
that.
a gymnast.
Yeah, like a little gym.
It's like a little gymnast, and then everything.
My top one would be I think home phone when we just had home phones, because then you could get away. You could just say, "Hey, I wasn't home." Like, sorry, couldn't talk. Like there was the easiest excuse ever to get out of anything.
But I was thinking about that. You wouldn't give up how convenient it is to get in touch with someone now for the ability to not to dodge someone. And there was answering machines.
I was also thinking, I go, did more stalkers drive by your house to check to see if you were home?
Yes.
But then they can
Probably.
find you
Totally.
now pretty easy too, because everything's so connected.
Yeah.
So what's scarier, the fact that they could get to you now because your location's everywhere, or back then when they could just drive by your house? You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
when they had to drive by your house.
yeah,
you
where
mean?
they had to drive by your
Now
house.
they can just tap into your Ring camera. Noah, real quick, what's your fave?
My favorite is actually Andrew's bottom, which is the tape recorder. Especially when it became portable, because my friend and I, we would take that thing everywhere, and we would record these like documentaries, and then every year we would go back and listen to them and like hear how tiny our voices sounded, and just remember conspiracies from school, or we would pretend to do talk shows on them and stuff. So
That's so
You did
a lot of
podcast.
memories.
You were podcasting.
Wow. Yeah, you were podcasting.
Oh yeah, early broadcaster.
Oh my God.
Do you have
that makes
those?
sense.
You got to play them. I mean, that'd be so
I have them, but I don't have a tape player. Can't find a tape player anywhere.
My favorite toy as a kid, it reminded me of that, was the Yak Back, and you could talk into it, and then it would do it backwards, and you could learn how to say things backwards, and then you would say it backwards and then play backwards, and it would sound. I still know how to say my name backwards. Resalg Ikkin. Resalg Ikkin.
Resalg Ikkin.
Did that person become a millionaire, you think, that did the
Yak
Back?
Back?
Yeah.
No, because they're not still around.
Yeah, what a weird invention.
They were
to, like,
awesome. I'm
become
sure there's some
huge.
kind of app that does the same thing, but they were so fun.
I never heard of the Yak Back.
This is
Never heard of the
Resalg
Yak
Ikkin
Back.
signing off.
Can
Thank
you
so
do
much for
our
being here.
names? Can you just
No,
from-
because you would have to. It's not just like reading them backwards. You know, it's like the sound.
Anya Marina.
Nilok.
Wait, is that yours?
I just made it up.
Sounds
I
like
mean,
an
I
episode
bet
of Twin
it is.
Peaks.
That sounds pretty close. I think
Nidlock.
there's someone that can actually.
Word.
Marina.
Nilok were ga
Because Colin, if you're taking
Sounds
Colin,
like Klingon.
it would be.
Nilok.
That's how you say it backwards if you were reading it backwards.
Oh.
But the sound is a lot different than what you would be reading. Because Resalg is not Resalg Ikkin. It was something. It sounds like an alien talking. It's so weird. All right, we got to go. Thank you guys for listening to the show. We'll be back tomorrow with more show. We're back, baby. We're back. Thank you so much, Anya, for being here. Don't be cool, and Jack
Top.
Sparrow.
Top Kaj.
You're doing Jack backwards. Jack back.
Yeah.